Today it's Connecticut, the Melon head. Put them on the board, Prime. Creepy American Cryptids Part 6, the Melon heads of Connecticut. The cryptids known as the melon heads are small humanoid creatures, about 3 feet tall with large bulbous heads and emaciated bodies with long limbs. They are known to emerge from hiding places, typically in the woods, and attack innocent people. The diet of the melon heads is rumored to consist of small animals, stray cats, and human flesh, preferably the flesh of nosy teenagers. Because of this belief, missing hikers or runaways are often believed to be the victims of the melon heads. Although several legends exist regarding the melon heads, today we will focus on the melon heads of Connecticut. The Connecticut melon heads are spotted in several areas of Connecticut, including Litchfield County, Fairfield County, and New Haven County. Among these counties, tales of the melon heads include sightings in the communities of Newtown, Trumbull, Stratford, New Milford, Monroe, Weston, Easton, and Shelton, within Litchfield and Fairfield. In New Haven, the most regular sightings occurred in the communities of Southbury, Oxford, Seymour, and Milford. Even within the specific Connecticut tales of the melon heads, variations of the tales, theories, and myths exist. A common version of the tale involves the borders of Trumbull and Monroe in the mid-1800s. This was the location of an insane asylum for criminals, which burned down one autumn after the inmates started a fire in an escape attempt. After fire had consumed the majority of the facility, killing all of the staff members and the majority of the inmates, a handful of inmates were still missing. It is assumed that they survived the fire and escaped into the woods. The criminally insane male and female inmates did not want to give up their newfound freedom. However, they were unfit for society and mentally deranged, which would also be easily noticeable if they tried to relocate to a nearby community. So they agreed to live in the nearby woods in seclusion to avoid being recaptured. While struggling to survive in the wild during the harsh, frigid winters common in the New England states, it is believed that the inmates turned to cannibalism and inbreeding. This combination of behaviors can lead to a severe medical disorder, a physical deformity known as hydrocephalus, which causes fluid retention to occur around the brain, causing a misshapen head. This disorder would account for the bulbous heads of the melon heads, creating a bobblehead-like appearance. These repeated acts of cannibalism and inbreeding over a span of decades caused the melon heads to essentially de-evolve by enlarging and deforming their heads, creating mental deficiencies and causing them to have emaciated, sickly-looking bodies, resulting in the appearance of elongated limbs. An additional theory states that the melon heads are the descendants of families from the colonial era in the areas of Shelton and Trumbull that were banished to the woods after being accused of witchcraft. Similar to the previous story, it is believed that the melon heads are the result of inbreeding among the small banished community. Regardless of the version of the story, it is a common trait of the melon heads to stalk and prey on humans who wander into what they perceive as their territory within the wooded areas that they consider home. Most stories also tend to include a single lane, secluded, often a dirt road, that runs through the center of the melon heads' wooded territory. How the melon heads act when in close proximity to humans continues to be a matter of debate. What we do know is that they are known to hide between trees and appear at the precise moment that they plan to attack. Although some legends state that the melon heads only bite their victims, other legends explain that the melon heads eat the people that intrude upon their land. The melon heads also attack cars traveling through the wooded areas by throwing rocks in an attempt to stop people from coming near their land again. When the melon heads aren't throwing rocks at cars, apparently they also steal them and go for a drive. A legend from the 1980s tells of a group of high school girls that drove their blue Granada to the woods in Trumbull after a Friday night game in Fairfield. They parked the car and walked toward the woods in search of the melon heads. After only a few hundred feet, the girls heard a car door slam and the engine start on the car. Within seconds, the car began to head towards them. As they dove out of the way to avoid being run over, they could see small people in the car, about the size of children, with large deformed heads and orange glowing eyes. Some folks say that the Melonheads still drive around in that blue Granada to this very day. We may never know the actual truth of the veracity of the Melonheads and what they truly do with the people who are unfortunate enough to trespass in their woods. However, we do know that they want to be left alone and will become violent to keep the secret of their presence within the woods. So if you are in a secluded wooded area of southwest Connecticut and you see small humanoid creatures with bulbous heads coming near you, get away as quickly as you can. For if you do not, the Melonheads may attack you and stop for a quick bite or even a full dinner with you on the menu. See you next time, folks.